Detective Comics number 10, written by Tony S. Daniel, art by Ed Bennis. Last issue was a tie-in to Night of the Owls, so who cares? This issue starts up with essentially a new arc. We are in Gotham City's business district, and this truck is, armored van making its way down the city. It's cut off by a minivan in which the door opens up and out steps a dude with a rocket launcher, blows up the armored truck. The guards get out and they're like, "Oh, geez, you all right? We gotta go. We gotta figure out what's going on." And they look up to see who it is that's attacking them, and it's a bunch of guys dressed as Batman, all with like machine guns and assault rifles and such. And the guards unload on the Batman unload on the guards. Guards are both dead, and the Batman break into the back of the armored van and steal a box. We are not privy to what is inside. So then we cut over to Gotham Memorial Hospital across town, and Bruce Wayne is visiting Charlotte, whatever her last name is, basically the love interest in Detective Comics. I genuinely thought this would have been over, but no, she's recovering from the last arc, and basically is just writing herself out of the book. Bruce is like, hey, you don't have to worry. Everything will be all right. We'll hop on my jet, and we'll go somewhere nice once you get all healed up. And she's like, "Bruce, here's the thing. My sister kind of betrayed me, and there's a lot of stuff that I have done. So I'm just gonna move to Paris." And he's like, "Paris? Seriously?" And they hear like a little booms outside, and so Bruce goes over to the window, and she's like, "Yeah. I just feel like I got to move on with my life." And he's like, "Yeah, no, totally, move on." And she's like, I just need I need to know that you're there, and I need to know that I can always come to you." And he's like, yeah, right, move on, got it. And she's like, "Are you listening to me?" And he goes over, gives her a hug. And then we see that she sees the explosions outside, and by the time she turns around to see, "Bruce, what's going on?" he's gone. So Jim and Gordon are getting every available unit they can to take down these Batmen, but the Batmen make their way down into the sewers, and Gordon and Bullock are like, "All right, well, I don't know if the real Batman's going to show up, but for now, we do this the old-fashioned police way. Seal off every exit. We'll flush them out eventually." So then we see the Batman moving underground, trying to get to wherever they need to be. One of them disappears into the shadows and is replaced by the actual Batman, who starts beating the crap out of all of them. I do like his internal monologue here of, "The acoustics in these tunnels makes it difficult to sneak up on someone. Advantage me." So he's beating them up. He finally grabs he tries to grab the final Batman, but that one actually has some acrobatics and a little bit of extra strength on him. So he manages to get behind Batman, put him in a chokehold, and then pull a ripcord on his utility belt, which causes him to explode. He had a suicide vest on him, and he just exploded. So, my mistake. That was actually the second to last Batman. The last Batman, he sees running down the tunnel. He gets trapped up in his grappling hook wire, and they have a little bit of a knife fight shortly. And then once again, as soon as the other Batman realizes I ain't walking out of this, he pulls a ripcord and explodes. And Batman's like, "What the heck why are all these people killing themselves?" Then we see, I'm just going to give you the name now. They give it later in the book, but it's Mr. Toxic, who's a dude with a skull, black skull head, and a Mr. Freeze style dome, but it's all red. His main color is red. So Batman's recovering from the explosions, and as he is crawling his way up out of the sewer, some police guys who went into the sewers afterwards were like, "Hey, there's a Batman. Can we shoot him?" And he's like, No, I think that's the real one. They're like, "So can we shoot him?" He's like, No, let Batman go. So on top of the GCPD, Gordon and Bullock are meeting up with Batman. They basically say, "Okay, the thing that they stole came from this laboratory across state called Dunhill. We have some images, the crime scene files from when they took it. Pretty grisly, though, because everyone is literally melted." And back in the Batcave, Bruce is talking to Alfred, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, Dunhill. That sounds familiar. Didn't they make a Large Hadron Collider and Apparently, Tony S. Daniel believes that the Large Hadron Collider is going to make time travel and alternate universe travel possible, which, no. But regardless, he looks over the surveillance footage and then notices a pop-up, a screen, and then there's a little pop-up on that screen that has H&M on it. And H&M is the company that is a subsidiary of or at least a workshop in Wayne Tower, run by that Hugh Martyr guy from like issue 2 of this book. And so he goes to the lab, he checks out what's going on in there, he finds all the melted goop and whatever, but he also feels like this energy moving about the place. So he turns on some visor, like special things so that he can see the radiation, and it all leads into one back room. He opens it up, and inside, as far as I can tell, is a Large Hadron Collider, which is weird considering those things are large. And this is just in Wayne Tower. But regardless, standing inside the collider is Hugh Martyr. And he's like, oh God, help me, Batman, save yourself. Behind you. And then we see Mr. Toxic is there. And he zaps Batman with some radiation crap, and Batman is down for the count as we can literally like see his skeleton through his skin. And Mr. Toxic is like, ha, tonight the Cape Crusader dies. I like it. I think it's a good setup to a decent mystery. You know, why were all those Batmen there blowing themselves up? Why is there a Large Hadron Collider on what I can only assume is the 30th floor of the Wayne Tower? What's going on with that box thing that they stole and Mr. Toxic then picks up? I don't know. There's a lot going on here. It's a good mystery being set up. My only critique with it in any real capacity, and art is fantastic as well. I don't like the art is also great. But yeah, my only real critique with this in any real capacity is that I think Mr. Toxic showed up like 3-4 issues ago, and he felt like he was purposely played up there to be such a loser, and yet here I feel like we're supposed to take him really seriously. And it's just a little bit of a whiplash on that. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe he wasn't in that previous issue, but I'm like, this character design is really familiar to me, so I'm pretty sure. However, it just feels like all of a sudden you can't introduce a villain as a loser and then in one issue's time make him a legitimate threat. That just, I don't know. I was always waiting for the punchline of like, oh, Mr. Toxic is behind this. Batman's just going to punch him in the face and we're done. But it never came. Like, he's actually stayed a threat. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens from there. But overall, I'm giving this a 7.5. Definitely looking forward to how it turns out. Art is fantastic. And I'm a little bit glad that Charlotte's writing herself out of the book. That's cool.